I'm like, he's like, dude, if something happens, your legs start to cramp, take the hot shot. Mile 4, I'm like, where the hell is that hot shot? I was like, dude, my legs. I was like, dude, mile 4. I'm like, this is going to be, I'm just pounding hot shots. What they don't tell you is the hot shot makes you want to shit your pants immediately. So then I was like, dude,
yes.
this is not.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 86 of the On the Runs podcast. We are back, baby. It is the end of the year. This is we said our holiday special. We are
one more for the year. One more
for the year. We talked about it. We thought about it, and we're like, we got to do it. And we found an amazing guest, and we had him on, and we recorded, and then I got sick. Before we recorded the Tros, I got sick, and here I am bringing it, baby, with the raspy voice. But Erica, I miss you. How have you been? How was your Christmas?
I'm doing just fine. I miss you too, buddy. I hope that you are on the up and up and are starting to feel better. But yeah, I mean, Christmas was great. Got to see a lot of family. We have some birthdays for the pod fam to celebrate. We got Nicole and Mary. So happy birthday to you guys. Hope you had wonderful days. And yeah, it's been a nice couple of days off for me before I have to go back to work. So how about you, besides being sick?
Well, I was really excited because we had a big run planned last week on Friday. We're going to do 10 miles, and then we were going to go back to your house and record together, which we haven't done since the summertime, and do the big. We're going to do the big holiday special together. We're going to wear Santa hats and everything. And I got, I got so sick. I was laid up for days. I lost the voice again. I'm on the back nine though. And I am really excited to be on the back nine. My goal was just get better for Christmas, just get better, because I couldn't move. I was sore for days. Like I felt like I got run over by a bus, but I'm back.
Yeah, nobody wants to be sick over Christmas.
No, but the voice is, it doesn't sound like the voice is back, but I had no voice, zero, none, nada. So I'm feeling better. I'm ready to move. I'm ready to get back running. So we're going to ease into it this week, but I'm so excited for this episode because we have an awesome guest. I talked about getting this guy on 2 years ago when we were in the same race, and he signed up the day before with no training, and wow, it happened 2 years later, but it happened. Things keep happening for us. This has been so much fun.
Big shout out to Steve for that one. Steve kind of hooked us up.
Steve hooked us up. Well, he knew like he's been listening to the pod since the beginning.
Yeah.
And when I did that Ironman, and Katie in our group chat was like, hey, good luck, but look out for Justin and Ryan from Recycled Percussion. I was like, really? They're in the race? And then it's like, yeah. And then a couple of days later, you guys are going to hear this, but he signed up, didn't even know what a triathlon was the day before. I was like, oh my God, how'd he do this?
It's a ballsy move for sure.
I was like, we got to get him on. If you want to, do you remember, we only did at that time one episode. So episode 2 was my Ironman Timberman. And this is episode 86.
Wow, we've come a long way, especially from those episodes.
I have some amazing stats for you that I'm debating if I'm going to tell you later on this episode or when I get my voice back. But
okay,
we have Justin on. I'm so excited. How about you?
I mean, I cannot wait for this. He was super awesome to talk to. And just so you guys know, we kind of jumped right into it. I mean, we didn't do our normal getting to know you kind of stuff. We were worried about some time constraints, but Justin was super generous with his time. We got to talk to him for a lot longer than we thought, but we just, we went right for it. So broke away from our normal.
Let's go right for it right now. No one wants to hear my raspy voice.
Let's do it.
This is going to be an awesome one.
You got to rest it.
Oh, I do have to rest it. Rest your voice, Eric. I'm getting excited. Do you hear how excited I'm getting? I'm talking louder and louder and louder.
Relax.
All right. Why don't you lead us in to the episode then?
All right, everybody, here we go. We have Justin Spencer from Recycled Percussion on the On the Runs podcast. We really hope you enjoy this episode.
You guys are going to love it. Our next guest on the pod is one of the coolest, nicest, most fun and energetic guys you'll ever meet who does so much for the New Hampshire community. Many of you might have seen him perform at your high schools like we did. The rest of you saw him on America's Got Talent as the music group he started took the country by storm before touring around the world and for many years in Las Vegas. He's also crazy like most of us and signed up for an Ironman with no training and recently went to Kona and raised over $50,000 for the Ironman Foundation. We are wicked excited to have him here for our holiday special. Justin Spencer, welcome to the On the Runs podcast, man. What's up?
Well, some of that I think is a lie, that intro. I don't know if I'm the nicest guy, but sure, I did do an Ironman without any training, so you did have one thing correct.
I love it. I've met you before in brief, and you were super nice, so I'm going off of my experience. I see, like, you were in Boston yesterday doing some cool stuff. I follow, man. I think you're one of the nicest guys. So from my experience, you're awesome. You're a nice dude.
I appreciate it.
I have to say, it's been a long time since I've met you because I remember you played for my middle school because I'm actually from Goffstown, too.
Oh, are you? Okay.
You guys put Goffstown on the map. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm a Goffstown native. That's where our band got started in 1995. And back when we first started, we would go around to high schools and middle schools and elementary schools when we were kids ourselves. And we'd go around and we'd spread some positivity to kids. Then, of course, we landed on America's Got Talent, went to Las Vegas for 10 years, and the rest is history.
It's very, very cool.
It's wicked cool. You came into my high school or maybe the middle school, one of those two as well. Erica and I were the same age here in New Hampshire, born and bred. We've been following you for many years. In fact, my daughter, who is almost going to be 8, she was on stage with you last year at the Palace Theater. She's actually at the Palace Theater right now, practicing for an upcoming play. But you do so much for the kids, man. And my daughter has your poster in her wall, and we went to your show twice last year because she's like, I was backstage. I want to go see them. It was so much fun. Your whole crew is wicked cool. The whole entire gang, they're so awesome to her. You do a lot of awesome things here in the community.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very, very lucky to have an amazing team and support system around me. They make my life a lot easier, and they certainly make me look good. So I appreciate them.
So does your team support all of your crazy jumping into triathlon habits that you have as well?
Yeah, I think that I think they've gotten used to that. I've always been one for making waves with things and
being spontaneous.
Yeah, and I'm a fitness junkie, right? So I've got this. I was a competitive CrossFitter for a long time and grew up playing hockey, and I was I was a track guy in high school. So I've always just had this love, this ultra competitive side to me that a lot of people don't get to see on the TV show, but people in my circle know that I'm a crazy man with that stuff. And it's actually kind of an unhealthy way to live your life. So I've actually tried to tone it down over the last 5 to 7, 10 years. I'm like I don't find fitness very fun. It's very competitive to me. So therefore I lose a lot of friends, if that makes sense. I get kicked out of every basketball league, every hockey thing. I get kicked out of everything. I'm not even allowed to be around anybody. So I started picking up sports that was just me and myself, which is how I got myself in this Ironman world, which leads us to this podcast today.
Quick hockey talk. Do you still skate? I wonder if we played against each other growing up.
Well, I'm probably older than you. I'm 46.
Okay, yeah.
So I played with Tara Mounsey. She was on my team. I grew up in Concord.
Yep.
So I grew up playing in that, the Concord Capitals and that whole world. And then when I went to Goffstown, we didn't have hockey when I was in Goffstown, so I didn't get to play in high school. But I got into track a lot. I was big into track, and then I've just always been a fan of fitness. I've been a long person that's had to deal with a lot of mental illness in my life for myself, and I found that fitness is a great way for me to try to eradicate a lot of that and try to change who I am.
I think us included and a lot of our listeners are in the same boat there. And that's why we come to running and doing some crazy things. Erica just did her first 100-miler. I've done the Ironman, and I took a year off, and I'm like, I want to get back into Ironman. So I signed up for Timberman in 2021, did some training, and I'm like, I can do this. I did the race. I had fun. I beat the hurricane. If you remember, a hurricane was coming into town.
Yeah.
And then the next day I read this news article and I'm like, I know who this guy is. And he signed up 24 hours before the race. No training.
It's actually more crazy than that, to be honest with you. How this happened was the lake that the Ironman Timmerman happened on was on Lake Opeechee. So my house is on Lake Opeechee.
Okay.
And I'm like a semi-pro wake surfer. So what does even semi-pro mean? I don't know. I get paid to surf, so it makes me professional, I guess. Anyway,
Very cool.
So I was doing some training for some stuff there, and I got a notice saying that we couldn't drive our boats on the lake for 2 days because there was this triathlon. I swear to God, I didn't even know what a triathlon was necessarily. I was like, Ironman. The only Ironman I remember was like when I was a kid, I'd watch like the Wide World of Sports Ironman.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what I associated the Ironman with was that specific thing. So I was like, what is this? And I remember seeing the buoys out there, and they're like, it's this Ironman. I was like, what do you have to do? They're like, well, you have to swim 1.2 miles, and you got to bike 70 or 56 miles, and you run 13 miles, whatever it was. And I was like, well, when is it? And they're like, well, it's tomorrow. And I was like, oh. It was like at like 10 a.m. So I called my assistant. I said, hey, can you find me a bike? I don't even know what I need. I just need a bike. Dude, first of all, I've never swam more than maybe 100 yards.
Okay.
Ever.
You got Erica beat.
You really do. That's what's holding me back.
I have never been on a road bike in my life, ever. And I certainly, even though I grew up doing track, I was a 100-meter, 200-meter, 400-meter guy, and I was a varsity track coach. So in my background, and I'm 44 at this time, and I'm like, but I'm in elite shape. I mean, I'm in physically great shape at this point. I mean, I train like a madman outside of that stuff. So we got a bike. When I got to do the check-in on my bike, I was so uneducated on what was even happening that I didn't even know I didn't even know that you like had special shoes. I had no arrow.
Yeah.
I was sitting up like this the whole way. I didn't know you wear a wetsuit. I didn't know what kind of swim. All I know is this. When I checked in, I said to the guy, do I need any like food or something like that? And he goes, how long, what have you been doing during your training? I said, no, dude, you don't understand. Like, I just found out like 3 hours ago. I've never even been on a bike. He said, well, here, I'll give you this. He gives me this little thing. He says, drink this. It was like a fireball. If your legs cramp up, just drink this thing. I was like, all right, give me 2.
Oh, was it a hot shot? Does that sound familiar to you?
It was a hot
okay,
shot.
I know exactly what you're talking about. No cramps.
Yeah. So, at this point, it's the night before the triathlon. I don't know what you're supposed to eat. I've got nothing packed. We literally have no idea what's going on. Ironman Foundation calls me. The director of the Ironman calls me the night before, and they ask me not to do it. They said,
really?
They called me up and they said, we saw a post online. It's gotten like tens of thousands of views. Because I did a post, hey, tomorrow morning I'm going to try an Ironman. They're like, you have no training. We've actually pulled people out of the water before. We don't want to, you're a celebrity of sorts. We don't want this to become a thing. I got it. And I was like, listen. And I think that they were like probably thinking like maybe I didn't have any athletic ability of any kind. Yeah. And I was like, listen, at this point, I've already said I'm going to do it. And of course, and the other guy in my band, Ryan's also doing it with me. We've decided we're going to do this thing. And I just knew like, hey, listen, if I can get through the run, the rest of it's just going to be a grind. It is what it is. It's just going to hurt. So I'm sorry, if I get through the swim, that's all I had to do was get through the swim. The morning of, the night before, I think I was eating like donuts and pizza. We were not prepared.
That's actually not bad to eat.
You kind of eat like an ultra runner, honestly.
Oh, good.
That sounds like my cup of tea.
Ultra running because that's my diet normally. Anyways, so
it's a lot of power hiking. You do well. Don't worry.
In the morning of the Ironman, we get there. I don't even know how to put on. I'm trying to figure out, do my ears go under the swim cap? Do they go on top of the swim cap?
These are legit questions that I do not know. So I'm glad somebody else has those kind of questions because I would have no clue.
So my philosophy was this. I'm going to put myself in the back of the swim because I just feel like I'm going to get drowned if I'm in the front. So I'm like, I'm going to go last. So I walk in. It felt like the beginning of the movie Saving Private Ryan, where everybody's just, it's like Normandy almost. They're all walking into the water, and it's just gloomy, and it's like 6 a.m., and it's cold, and they're playing music, and people got all their stuff going on, and these emotions. And I'm like, holy cow, I don't even know how I'm going to act. So I just get in the water, and I immediately just start swimming. Like I would swim, like if I fell down in my boat to surf, which is way too fast. So I'm swimming, kicking my legs. I run out of oxygen. I put my head up, and I realized that I'm exhausted at this point. And I realized I can still stand up. That's when I knew it was going to be a long day. I could still stand up. I had gone nowhere, guys. I'd gone like 70 feet. I turned around, and my wife's still there waving to me on the beach. I'm like, oh, I haven't gone anywhere. I'm immediately getting into a backstroke. I'm swallowing water. Side stroke, backstroke, regular stroke, this stroke. I was hitting kayaks. I'd like swim. I'd look up. People were like 400 feet to my right. I'm just zigzagging like this. I'm like, but I never held on to anybody. Never got any help. And when I got out of the water, I couldn't find Ryan, who was with me, my other bandmate. And I'd seen him in the water, and he's 6'3". I'm thinking, there's no way he's behind me. So when I got out, I said, where's Ryan? He's already gone on the bike? They're like, no, we haven't seen Ryan yet. I'm like, there's only 4 guys left. He was like 10 minutes behind me out of the water. And I gets out of the water, he goes, bro, just go. Just go on the bike. I never saw him again. Triathlon.
Did he have any experience, or was this his first attempt?
He had no experience, no. He had no experience. But I will tell you this, when I got out of the water, I was like, I didn't realize, I didn't even know there was such thing as a transition. I was literally out of the water. I'm making peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm hanging out. I'm talking to people. Like I wasted my transition was like 15 minutes. I was like hanging out. So
that's great.
I got to the bike. My goal was to unbrake the bike, never stop. I never stopped on the bike, which is good considering I never biked till that morning. Did the whole 56 miles on the bike. I probably held a pace of like 17, 18 miles an hour.
That's good.
Which is pretty slow, but not bad for not being an arrow, by the way. And not having, I had no idea what I was doing. Around mile 30. Oh, no, sorry. So I get in the bike, and this is the funny part. I'm like, I got that hot shot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's like, dude, if something happens and your legs start to cramp, take the hot shot. Mile 4. I'm like, where the hell is that hot shot? I was like, dude, my legs. I was like, dude, mile 4. I'm like, this is going to be, I'm just pounding hot shots. What they don't tell you is the hot shot makes you want to shit your pants immediately. So then I was like, dude,
yes.
this is not. Yeah.
Erica says,
So
oh, no. I say, oh, yes.
Yeah.
We love the code brown.
Yeah. So the bike wasn't too bad, but I learned it all came down to the run. The run was more of a walk. So I passed so many people on the bike, guys.
Okay.
Because don't forget, I started at the back of the swim.
Yeah.
And genetically, I played hockey. I'm a track guy, and I've got hella legs from CrossFit. CrossFit's still the hardest thing I've ever done at the level I did at. It's way harder than triathlon training for me. And so my legs are built, and I'm pounding through the bike. And I pass all these people on the bike. And then I get to the run, and there's no legs left. And all these people that I passed on the bike, 80-year-old ladies, come on, Sonny, you got this, no problem. I was like, are you shitting me? Everybody I passed on the bike whooped my ass in the first 3 miles of the run. I was like, dude, it was like a 9-hour half marathon. I was like, this is unbelievable. I was cramping. My stomach felt like shit. I was like, it's a lot if you've never done any training of any kind.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely. I commend you. I really do.
I'm still sore 2.5 years later.
I was just going to ask, how did you feel? Okay, I got the answer. You're still sore.
Yeah, I was surprised actually. The following couple of days, I wasn't that bad compared to like how it was if I do CrossFit comps.
Okay.
But, I've always had a struggle, even in track when I was younger, with shin splints because I have tight ankle mobility. And that was and that would come to haunt me as I trained for some other triathlons down the road. So that was my first introduction to any kind of endurance training. I mean, in the CrossFit world, everything's sub 30 minutes.
Yeah, true.
So it's some of your workout for 3 minutes. Yeah. It's max heart rate, hard as you can, huge lactic thrush. So, yeah. So here I am hanging out with you guys.
You fit right in. You really do. You're just
You're a
winging
natural. You're a natural.
Yeah.
I was a CrossFitter too before I became more running because of kids and family and time. I could never make the CrossFit class on time. I'm not a 5 a.m.er. And then I just started running and running, and then I found the endurance sports. So you did one race. What made you want to do more? You finished that race. You had the recovery of 2.5 years, and I know you did Kona the next year, but a lot had to happen between the two races.
Yeah. So when I did the first one, the Ironman Foundation, the same person who called me to say not to do the race, called and said, how would you like to team up with us and be our official athlete of the year?
That's awesome.
Your story's amazing. We'll put you to Kona. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. So I bought a $1 million motorhome, literally $1 million motorhome. I drove it to Florida, like a big tour bus. I decided I was going to train in Florida for Texas, which was another 70.3.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to get away from my family. I got multiple, I have my TV show. I got my rock band. I own multiple companies. I have all this stuff. I have to get away from that. So I sat down all my major people in my circle, and I said, listen, I'm a competitive dude. I think I could shave, an hour and a half off this time in 12 weeks of training. I got, so I went and bought the right bikes, the right stuff, and I went all in. I went to Florida. I hired the Olympic swim coach. I hired, I just went all in, and so I'm going to just try this thing one time as if I'm going to prepare for Kona. So then I did 70.3 in Galveston, Texas, after about 2.5, 3 months of training, and ultimately shaved like an hour and a half off the time. And the bike went to also to 22, 24 miles an hour average time, as opposed to like 17. And now I'm practicing an aero. Now my swim has gone from 55 to a 42 or whatever, and whatever. So, but it actually hurt more because I went faster. The race actually hurt more, and I actually remember at the end of it thinking, I really don't like this. I remember saying to my wife across the finish line, I really don't actually enjoy this. I'm done. I'm not going to do Kona. I'm not doing it. Like, I actually don't like the training. It's lonely. I don't have time to ride my bike 4 hours a day. It's just
a lot of work. Yeah.
It was a shit ton of work for me. It's okay if it's like your only thing. And of course I had Amber, who you probably guys know, was my coach.
I know who Amber is. I've never met her, but Amber's super awesome.
So she was my coach this process. And my running coach, but I had a swim coach down there. So anyways, so I'm like, I'm going to completely abort getting ready for Kona. So Texas is in March or April, and then Kona's, of course, coming up in end of September. So you got 6 months. Yep. So I stopped training altogether. I'm like, screw this, I'm not training. But I'm like, I'll do Kona, but I'm not going to train for it. Now, let me tell you this. The difference between, and you guys might know, the difference between 70.3 and a full is not double. It's like 5 times harder.
It is true. That's true.
And then Kona, compared to everything else, is like twice as hard.
True again.
So
factor in heat, humidity,
and wind. Yeah,
probably that wind. Yes.
No wetsuits in the water. Nothing. No buoyancy. Nothing. So I think, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be the first person that only does CrossFit who doesn't train for Kona, and I'm gonna do Kona. Well, about 8 weeks before Kona, I called a friend of mine down in Florida who's done hundreds of triathlons. And I said to her, listen, I haven't trained for Kona and it's in 8 weeks. I haven't done anything. Do you think I'm strong enough to just do it? Or do you think I really should train for it? And she said, I'm not going to say that you couldn't do it, but your experience would be miserable if you don't train for Kona at all.
I get that.
So I then called Amber. I said, all right, Amber, I got 8 weeks. She's like, all right, you got 8 weeks. How much you been biking? I said, I haven't been biking. She's like, well, you're really strong on the bike, but you're weak on the run, the swim. So let's just get 5 100-milers in on the bike. I don't care when you do them in the next 8 weeks. I want you to feel what 100 miles feels like 5 times. I'm like, okay, I can do one every 10 days or whatever. I can get an 80-miler in, 90-mile. I can get, So I live up in Lake Winnipesaukee area. So I'd start riding my bike down south through Pittsfield and all the way across to the seacoast and come back around. I would take my bike out to get used to the wind. I would take it out towards Hampton Beach. I would just ride up and down from Maine to Massachusetts like 4 times in one day. And then I'm like, but I'm not going to do any running because I had these shin split issues. I'm like, I'm not going to ever do any running. So I never ran more than 5 miles when I trained for Kona. I'm like, I'm never going to run more than 5 miles in this training. Of course, I've never run more than 13, which was just the 2 times in the 70.3s. The swims, I'm like, I'm not going to train the swimming. I live in a lake, but I did a couple of swims back and forth. I'm like, the swim is what it is. It's the same fucking thing redundantly. We're just going to keep swimming.
Yeah.
I've got the breathing down. I'll hack it. You can train it, maybe shave 10 minutes off. I'm like, I'm going to just I'm going to focus on the bike and building my leg. So
there you go.
That's what I kind of focused my training on for Kona, because the Kona thing for me was about raising money for a good cause. I'm like, if I could just finish Kona on 8 weeks of training, you either have to go all in and try to like break a time, and that almost makes it unfun. I'm like, I'm only gonna do it one time. I just want to enjoy the actual race. So I'd rather back it off and be an hour slower and not try to kill myself doing it. So that was really, and Kona was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. So when I got to Kona, I got there 2 weeks early. I prepped early. I had a lot of support from the Ironman Foundation, which was great. I had the best equipment, the best stuff I could use. And I got there and I started training up and down. I did the whole course on the bike. Did some running. And I had never swam more than the 1.2 miles. Of course, in Kona it's 2.4 miles, and there's no wetsuit. And I was like, I'm not going to do the swim. Have you guys either been to the Hawaii Kona?
Never. We've had
not.
people on and they told us about it. One day, man, dreaming, but
I'd get you in.
oh, I will.
All him.
I'll take
it.
that. Because I'm not fast enough to qualify. My buddy Scott's tried many times and he finally made it, but it is hard to qualify for Kona.
Very hard. There was 5,100 athletes because we went to the year. So COVID had really backed it up.
Yeah,
so there was 5,100 athletes when I went.
It was 2 days that year.
You ready for this one? Of the 5,100 athletes, only 2 had never done a full triathlon. Me and another guy who was in the NFL who played on the world champion Indianapolis Colts with Peyton Manning, who's a tight end. His name is Dallas Clark.
Okay.
No way.
We're the only 2 people that had never, because you have to do a full Ironman to qualify.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And most people that are there, even their foundation athletes, have done multiple triathlons.
Yeah, many. It's been like a lifelong thing. Yeah.
So
That's a cool class to be a part of.
Yeah, so I'm there and I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to, so the swim for Kona is an out and back. It's 1.1 miles out, 0.2 miles over, and 1.1 back. So basically it's an out and back. And now I would tell you right now, the 1.1 miles in a straight line in water goes on forever. It's ocean, it's rolling waves. There's no, you got no buoyancy. You can't wear a wetsuit. So I'm like, you know what? I'm doing this one time. I know how much it's going to suck. I don't want to do it. So I'm hanging out at my hotel for about a week. I've been doing some biking. And then one of the people from the Ironman Foundation says, hey, you really should come down. They're doing a practice in the swim because it's a floating start. I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know what that feels like to be floating in the water and start. So I'm like, yeah, I'll come down and do the practice, everybody. So I get down there, and she puts a timing chip on me. I go, what's the timing? This is 3 days before the Ironman.
Okay.
I go, what the hell is the timing chip for? She goes, for your time. I said, am I swimming? She goes, yeah, what do you think? She's like, you're doing the whole course. I'm like, oh, hell.
What, 3 days before?
I'm like, I thought we were doing the floating thing so we could get the floating start. I have no idea what's going on. She's like, no, you have to do the whole thing. I was like, are you shitting me? I did that whole
not ready.
swim, the 2.4 miles with no practice 3 days before. I did the whole thing, whole swim. And I was like, dude, and I realized, I was like, dude, you're swimming and you look up, you're like, you're not even close to a quarter of the way. You've swallowed so much salt water. Your mouth is like salt water. Ocean is way worse.
Yeah, it's gross.
Than lake. Way worse.
You guys are not selling it for me.
Yeah, if you're not a good swimmer,
fun.
you're just swallowing salt water the entire time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was it. I mean, that was like, that was 3 days before we did Kona. And then, of course, when Kona came that morning, I felt great. I got fortunate. I wasn't sore. I wasn't sick. Some people get sick and all this stuff, and I felt great. It was a great time. I was the highest fundraiser of the year for the Ironman Foundation.
No way, that's
and
awesome.
It was the craziest
incredible.
race ever. Because I raised $50,000 just on that race, but I also raised another $25,000 that's not on that. So it was almost $75,000 for that race. So that was great. Yeah.
Excellent job. On all accounts, that's just incredible. I don't think I could go into a full Ironman, let alone a half Ironman, and just wing it. Like, that just is totally out of my wheelhouse. So much respect to you for
you just ran 100 miles.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It was a lot of walking, like seriously a lot of walking. But like I don't know. He keeps trying to get me in.
What was your race? What did you guys do?
There's a race in Virginia called the Yeti 100.
Okay.
It's on the Virginia Creeper Trail, and it's just like a couple back and forth passes, and it's fairly easy compared to a lot of them. There's not a whole lot of elevation, so it's a lot of just walking and trying to make it through. And I learned a lot of things, and I'm sure these triathlons taught you a lot of things about that too.
And 2 months later, her feet still look disgusting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got some weird blisters, and you don't need to hear it. It's peeling and gross.
Could check it out on Only Feet.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Stop.
Let me get my credit card out.
So take us to race day. We've had a couple people on who've done Kona before. The experiences have been widely different. The best one, the guy ends up in the hospital after finishing the race, and they said, you might have had a mild heart attack. Not a big deal. How was your race? Again, you've only done the 2 halves. Swimming, minimal training, the bike, you're in aero now, you got it figured out. The run, you got that's just hot and windy. Bring us to your race day.
So I didn't do any block training. So I didn't know how I would feel. I would swim one day, bike the next day, run the next day. I never did any of them together in succession, which is critical in this kind of situation. The swim, I did great. I felt good. I got out. I think I had a fast transition, sub 4 or 5 minutes. I don't remember. I have to look it up. And I immediately got on the bike. And so now I've gotten to the point where I feel like I'm a really good cyclist, given my experience. For someone who hasn't had a lot of experience, that's my strong suit. I'm not going to be good in the run. I'm not going to be a great swimmer, but I'm going to really excel on the bike. So Amber's like, just send it on the bike and have at it. So I wasn't expecting. So when I got out of the swim, I immediately grabbed some food real quick and I got on the bike. And that day specifically, there was a big headwind coming at us, which is what you all fear at Kona. We had a big headwind coming at us early on the first 20 miles. On top of that, I didn't realize how much my inefficient swim, I was using my legs and my quads. So my legs were already smoked out from the swim because I tend to use my legs a little bit. I probably bend. I don't have a very fluid swim. So so the bike was really tough in that sense. The first, I felt pretty good. There's a tough climb around mile 70 that goes on for about 8-10 miles in Kona. Everybody kind of dreads. And then this great downhill. I felt pretty good. I remember this. Going back to Dallas Clark, who's the only other person who didn't do an Ironman. Exact same age as me. I think maybe he's a year younger. World-class athlete. Super Bowl champion. 6'5", built like an Adonis. Trained all year for this. Lived, eat, breathe, and sleep it. And I know because I'm an Ironman Foundation athlete, we have a certain wardrobe. And it was like 30 of us. And I'm thinking to myself, holy fuck, I'm passing people. Now, this isn't like an Ironman you just show up at. You have to qualify for this one. So in theory, on paper, I should be dead last. I didn't qualify, and I have not ever done an Ironman. And so I'm thinking to myself, I was like, man, if I could just beat Dallas Clark, because he raised he had Peyton Manning donate like $500,000.
Oh no,
some other thing he's doing, and he's got all these trainers and all this shit. And Ironman's like, oh, we have Dallas Clark, and they're making him the big deal. I will never forget. Around mile 80, I'm riding up, and I see this big dude on a bike, and I was like, Oh, hell. It's Dallas left before me,
You were ahead.
and I passed him on the bike. I talked to him for a couple minutes. I rode next to him for a couple minutes, and then I kind of took off. The bike was fine until about 20 miles left, and your legs are like, there's no fucking way. I'm fucking done. I got done the bike. Of course, we're filming this for our episode of Chaos and Kindness. So I get done the bike. I get off the bike. I'm miserable at this point. You know, now you're 8 hours into this thing. You've been in the beating sun all day. I went last. It's advantageous. The pros go early, so the sun's still down, so they can they get through a lot of that without the peak sun on them. I'm peak sun all day long. It's just beating on me. I'm just not used to it. I have a problem with cramping in my stomach. I can never find the right things to eat. I don't have experience. So I get done the bike. I transition into the run, and I'm a half a mile into the run. And I'm like, oh no, I got to shit. And
this seems to be a common occurrence at Kona / Ironman races. Like, the run is awful.
I find this porta potty, guys, that everybody has visited before me.
Oh, no.
No. Oh, no.
And I'm the most watched, even above the pros, one of the most watched person on the app that day, because I have
Top
this
10.
crazy fan base.
Yeah.
You know, I've got like almost 1 million followers on all my social media platforms, and our TV shows hyping up. So I have all these people who've never done a triathlon. So even though, you know, you've got these great athletes that are pros, no one really actually cares. Like, the grand scheme of things. No, these aren't daily, these aren't people that everybody knows every day. You know, no one knows who Lionel Sanders is unless you're into that shit. But like, everybody's, like, the average person, I've got all these people watching and donating.
Yeah.
Well, they see my thing stop because I'm in the fucking bathroom, dude. The first 5 minutes, I can't even get this thing off. It's so scary. I'm wearing the same. Stuck. So I get in the bathroom. I'm puking. I'm shitting. I'm puking. I'm like, and we're on half a mile. I'm thinking to myself, my wife ran the Boston Marathon last year with 5 days notice, with zero running training of any kind. And she broke 4 hours. Had never run the Boston Marathon.
Amazing.
Never run it.
Wow.
Something in your
That
blood,
was like
man.
a 940 mile with no training of any kind. But I remember her saying that last 10 miles sucked. Now I'm thinking, I don't just have to run a marathon. I just biked from my house in Laconia to Providence, Rhode Island, in heat, elevation change, and swam 2.5 miles. My body is shot before we even start the marathon.
Yeah.
And it's vert, it's up, it's pavement. The pavement's like 120 degrees. It's just, I was like, this is going to suck. And I realized that, like, it was tough. The first 7 miles, I was like, mile 8, 9, I needed some Zofran. So the medics were by, and I said, can I have some Zofran? My stomach's really fucked. And they said, we can give you Zofran, but if we do, you're disqualified. And I was like,
oh.
So Ryan was there, who'd done the Ironman movie before. He was filming this whole thing. He goes, bro, I'll run the last 20 miles with you without any. So he ran next to me, even though he wasn't in it. I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to win this fucking thing. I'm here to raise money for a good cause. He ran. Yeah. I had my daughters there, my wife there. I had like 20 people there. I flew like 20 people. So I had all these people, and they all run next to me. They were hanging out. And we had people from New Hampshire that were like there that had qualified. They had seen me. They'd come back and run with me. We had fans that were there. They ran with me. So it went into darkness, and I unbroke. I just said I broke. I did really well in that last 10 miles. But here I am. There's a thing there called the Energy Lab.
Yep.
And the Energy Lab is this last like 6 mile that you're just miserable at this point. It's like miles 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. You have to go all the way out. It's really hot. It's in these lava rock field. And we're coming back. And as I'm coming back, I'm about 6 miles. And there I see Dallas Clark, my nemesis. and I'm kicking his ass. I pass him. He's sitting at an aid station eating soup. And I stopped and said, Dallas, what are you doing? He goes, bro, this is brutal. I beat him by like an hour and 20 minutes. And I was like, I ran that, and I said to myself, when I finished, both times I did Timmerman and Galveston, I remember never being able to unbreak those last 2 miles. I had to run, walk those last 2 miles. I was in so much pain. And I thought to myself, I don't care what my time is, but I'm running that last 2 miles, and I'm going to sprint out that last 400 meters. And I will tell you this, at this point, it's dark, and that last 2 miles I'm running, and then the last half mile, and I come around the corner, and there's that last like half mile strip, and I was like, it was just me, my thoughts, and I was like, holy shit. There's this euphoric, you guys have all had it, this euphoric feeling where you're like, oh my God, not only am I going to finish this thing, to me, I was like, I was very fortunate because I had connections there. My whole family was able to stand at the finish line. Not everybody gets that ability. I was very excited for that.
That's really cool. I saw the pictures. That's amazing.
So my wife was there, my kids, and I just came across the finish line, and I said I held my daughter. I said, listen, I'm one of those dads. I travel for a living. I'm always doing stunts, and but when I'm with my kids, and I always like, people say, well, you're not, when you do these crazy stunts and you don't see your kids for weeks on end. I said, my daughters will look back, and I just want to show them through example that anything is possible. And I'm like, my daughter's 14. I'm like, you can do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do this, but I did it. And I had about 45 pieces of pizza right after.
Yes.
It was euphoric for me. It was the run was miserable for a long time. I equate doing an Ironman to getting a tattoo. It hurts so much that you have to forget how much it hurts before you sign back up for another one.
I know that.
Because now you're talking to me. You got me all hyped up. I'm like, holy shit. You know what? I think I could beat my time from last time.
Absolutely. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, you're just like, it's only 14 hours. You can fucking beat it. And then you're like, no, wait a second.
You did it in 14 hours? That's awesome.
No. I did it. I don't know what my time was. 14 hours? I don't know. 14 hours maybe.
That's amazing time. I actually think you did it faster now that I did my research. So it was 13 something. So you did a sub 14.
Was it 13?
Wow.
You did a sub 14 hour. Yeah, it was somewhere in 13.
So
my only
impressed.
Ironman
My bike was like 5 hours and something.
Holy shit. Dude, you
My bike was
fast.
5 hours and something. And I spent 20 minutes in the toilet.
Oh, that will kill your time. You're right.
Shit happens.
killed my
You
run.
gotta do what you gotta do.
Code brown.
It killed my run. But the point was, like, I mean, I wasn't trying to. There was a point where I could shave 30 minutes off my time.
Yeah.
And like not enjoy. There was a time where I stopped on the road, and my daughter and the sun was going down. I'm on like mile 9 on the run, and I'm on the highway, the Queens Highway, and my 13-year-old daughter is a track runner, and we're just running beside each other for like, it was just a mile, but we went slow and we talked. That's way cool to be like, I did 8 minutes faster. Like, fuck that.
No, that is cool.
It was awesome.
The experience, man.
I'm like, I'm never doing this again. I'm going to do it one time and enjoy it. And that was way more important to me than any time. But there's a lot of people that don't finish that race.
Yeah.
Man. They can't, and they've trained, they qualified, and they couldn't finish that race.
You did it, man. I call it the victory
That's
lap.
some
When
tough
you just
stuff.
enjoy the end of it and you want to enjoy that experience, I call it the victory lap. You did all the work, you put it in, or in your case, you didn't do as much as others, but you enjoyed the atmosphere. Unlike when you're in Texas, you're like, this sucks. I don't want to do this again. You went to Kona and you took your time and you enjoyed it. That's so awesome, man. And you got to have your family there, your daughter, your friends. Ryan was there. Probably everybody else from your crew. You said a lot of New Hampshire people. So yeah.
I think that what's interesting is I wrote a book called One Life, One Legacy. And I'm a huge advocate for sports. I just don't, and athleticism and just the importance of exercise. I don't have a background in endurance sports. However, the average 46-year-old dude could not show up and do Kona. And that's a tribute to my 20 years of disciplined training. Even though maybe I didn't put the work in as far as like endurance training, but I put the work in for 20 years so that I did, I earned the ability to do Kona for 20 years of CrossFit and mountain biking and, surfing and whatever else I've been doing that's been, athletic based, that I've done a lot of things like that.
I love it. We're all, well, I don't know about Erica so much. I'm the same way. Mountain biker, hockey, CrossFit, now running and marathons, Ironmans. I've done one Ironman, but I've done like 5 or 6 halves now, Erica. I don't remember, but dude,
you did a full?
I did a full. I did Mount Tremblant in Quebec, about 6 hours north of us.
That's a tough one.
It is. I did it in 13 hours.
I heard there's a lot of mountains.
Hilly.
Going up and
Well,
down.
the thing that I like about it, Justin, is you pedal hard to go up, right? But then you get to, enjoy the downhill. Kona, from what I know, and Cozumel's the same because I've been to Cozumel, you're an arrow the entire time. You never actually get to take a break. So you're always pedaling, where in Mount Tremblant or Lake Placid, which I want to do next, you climb the hill and then you get the reward of the downhill.
Yeah, you're in arrow the whole time. Yeah, I wouldn't. It blows out your lower back.
Yeah, it does. I
for
see
sure.
a chiropractor now.
So I think that, like, for me, it just comes down to the training. I've now proven. I've done a 70.3 with 0 time training. I've already done the best Ironman you could do as far as in the Ironman scope of things. So for me, I'm like, the only thing to do is do them faster. In order to do them faster, I'd have to put a lot of training into it. And I don't have that love for that. But for that specifically, I started to think to myself, what kind of things would I enjoy now? And my brain gravitates towards like adventure racing, where there's some problem solving involved, and kayaking and navigation in the woods and mental strength. That kind of thing I'm into. I'm into, like, it's tough to say, like, CrossFit always says the fittest, their whole claim is if you can win the CrossFit Games, you're the fittest person on earth. There's no doubt about it that when I watch these athletes who do the Ironman, when I watch the professional athletes, the best of the best, and and I watch them, I obsessed with them. I watched every YouTube video, I watched everything. I went all in for months of training in Florida to learn about this stuff, and it's very unique because it's these 3 disciplines and it's the same lengths all the time. Where CrossFit, you don't know, or like adventure training, you don't know what you're going to get. You have to be able to back squat 500 pounds. You also have to run a marathon. You also have to do swimming. You also have to do, rope climbs. You have to be able to do all these things that just destroy your body. And I think for me, you have to love the idea of redundancy. And I have severe ADHD. I do enjoy cycling. I actually enjoyed the swimming. I enjoyed running. I just couldn't do those 3 things on auto repeat for the rest of my life. I require a little more diversity. Hell, I'm all about playing pickleball now. I could go play hockey. I love just trying different things.
Yeah, I love
all the time. Now I have an obsession with pickleball, and I'm trying to open a pickleball center in Nashua, and I'm trying to, and I'll be all about that for 2 years, and I'll be all about probably going back to triathlons, or, let's go. Like right now, Erica, if you said, hey, listen, let's go run from the top of New Hampshire to the bottom of, I'm like, I'll try it. You gonna train? Hell no, I'm not gonna train. Let's just do it. I'm gonna get shin splints anyways. Let's just do it. Like, I'll just suffer through it.
Do it.
Honestly, I would probably just wing that too. I'd be like, that sounds awesome. Let's go.
That's all she does. She just runs, man. She just keeps running every day. She's on like a 2,000-day streak, and she could do it. She lives in Nashua. She'll be your first member for the pickleball center you got there.
Here, we'll start at the bottom and work our way up to the top.
Oh, go a little harder.
I got a question for you. You've run every day for 2,000 days?
I say, well, he says run. I have a run walk streak. So I've done at least a mile every day since June 1st of 2020. So I'm going strong, but I take my rest days when I need them, and I just walk. I try to get like 20 minutes of movement in every day.
I had a lady on my morning show one day. She has not missed, it's a minimum of 1 mile running, but usually she does a 5K at least, or no longer miles. And it's like 14 years.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Wow.
If I can somehow get to that, I would love it.
I'm like, no. She has kids. I said, what'd you do? She goes, I literally, the day I had my kids, I ran a mile around I'm like, what is happening?
Oh my gosh.
She's never missed a day. Never.
Wow.
It blows my mind. It really does.
She has like 1 million followers
the
on Instagram.
dedication. The
I'd love
fact
to
that
talk
your
to her.
body will let you do that straight out of childbirth, like, holy
Erica,
shit.
how old are you?
I can't comprehend.
How old are you?
I'm 37 right now.
Okay. Do you get like? Do you guys
Yeah.
ever get shin splints or anything like that when you run that much at your age?
Not shin splints specifically, but I just got over like a hip issue. I was having tight IT bands. Like I do have things here and there that just don't feel great every once in a while.
I get
but
something called plantar
rehab.
fasciitis.
Yeah. So what does that
that's
feel
the
like?
worst.
It is hard in the morning, man. I got to like take my toes and stretch them back, and then I'm good for the rest of the day. I just got to get the blood flowing. But like waking up and stepping out of bed, I'm a little slow. My old age of 38 takes me a minute.
What I've noticed.
Yeah, my hip thing was just like pinching and stuff. Like it's just doesn't feel great, but walking was fine. That's what I could get away with.
What I've noticed in playing pickleball and then doing running is that my Achilles get really tight. So sometimes I wake up, my heels and my Achilles are really tight in the morning. That first like 10 minutes, I have to like really, I mean, so to me, I know I have a tight, something goes on back there. I don't know if it's my calf issue, but I tend to get shin splints. My ankle mobility, my shins burn a lot when I run. So it discourages me from running because I actually enjoy running. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to start a streak because Recycled Percussion is about to embark on 35 shows. And my shows are so physically demanding, I don't want to do CrossFit in that time. So I said to my wife, I'm burnt out from the gym and the weights. I'm going to just run every day starting tomorrow for 30 days without missing a day. So if anyone wants to run with me one time, come be in my running group.
We'll come with you.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Well, I live in Manchester now, so if anybody wants to come run with me, it'll hold me accountable. Let's just do like simple, like 5-mile run or 4-mile run. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, we're down.
I'm game.
We're down.
I'm just in Nashua. I'm a straight shot down the highway.
Yeah. So I mean, I just need like, I kind of felt like I like running. I like doing stuff where I try to change it up a bit. Like I'll do, I worry less about time or distance. I'll just go, I'm going to run for an hour today. And every 10 minutes or every 5 minutes, I'm going to stop and do 20 push-ups no matter where I am. So I'm getting 100 push-ups in, and then I also get my run in as well. So I like doing things like that just to change it up a little bit.
That's what I did when I was into Spartans and Tough Mudders. I would run and then do burpees, run and do burpees, and I would take like intervals with burpees in the middle.
Yeah. It spikes your heart rate. It's crazy. Like if you do a run and every three, I have a friend right now who's training. I said, listen, build your leg strength up. Run for 5 minutes, and every 5 minutes for stop and do 30 air squats for an hour. And you end up doing 300 air squats. Your legs just get so strong. It's a lot of it's a leg strength thing. So I mean, it's just a matter of for me is being consistent with the running. I need to work on mobility more, stretching more, that kind of stuff. Recovery is more important.
Same.
I'm kind of like, I hate stretching. It's boring to me. I know it's critical. I get bored with it. I'm like, I stretch for like a second. I'm like, all right, let's just go.
I don't know if you've ever listened to
Justin. Yeah, my sign off every episode is don't forget to stretch, and I am probably the worst one who doesn't practice what I preach. So if you're gonna get on a regimen for this, I should too. It's good for you. I know it sucks, but it's good for you.
We should also shout out your awesome, amazing PR girl, Kayla, is training right now for her first half marathon. She's doing Eastern States in March.
Yeah, I mean,
that's amazing.
She's what I'm talking about. And she said, I said, listen, let's just build a base, be consistent. What I've learned with anything in life, I've had a lot of success beyond athletics. I've had a lot of success. For people that don't know my backstory, I grew up super poor. I grew up, in a trailer park in Loudon, New Hampshire. I came from, a lot of domestic issues, primarily a lot of addiction stuff, alcohol in my family. And to this day, I've never had a drop of alcohol in my entire life. And I've always just, I've never been a drinker. I've never been a party person. And I have found for me that the importance of consistency and the importance of, I'm one of those guys, I love immersion. If I'm going to get into something, like if I say tomorrow I'm going to run, I have to run every day for 30 days or I won't do it. I have to hold myself accountable. And I love the power of going, I'm going to go all in on this goal. So when someone says to me, hey, you can learn so many things in your life, and you could, Recycled Percussion, we went to Vegas, we did $75 million in ticket sales. We came from nothing. Like I built my band from literally nothing. Our Chaos and Kindness TV show, I've done the entire 106 episodes over 6 years for free. we've built our entire brand about, because I obsess over the idea of doing things for people and bringing people together and pushing myself. I love the idea of bringing people together, and I just, my whole idea behind it is just, you got to go all in on something. And for me, with Kayla, who's one of my employees right now, who wants to run she said, what do I need to do? I said, listen, you can't. One day she had been running for like 2 months straight, and she calls me, and she hadn't missed a day of running for 2 months. And she called me up, and she's on the phone, and she goes, it's like 11 o'clock at night. She lives in an apartment building, and she lives in Key, like a big apartment building. And she says, I didn't run today, so I said, listen to me. If you miss today, you're going to say, it's like a diet. Once you cheat, it's okay to cheat the next day. And now you're off. She goes, well, I can't run. The kids are sleeping. She has 2 daughters. She's a single mom. I said, you're going to get keep your apartment door propped open, and you're going to run that hallway for 30 minutes. I don't care if you go up the stairs, go over, go back down.
You got to make it work. You do what it takes.
Just so you can mentally say you did it, so that tomorrow you don't have a reason to not do it again. And sometimes it's hard, and a lot of us in life, I deal with a lot of mental illness. I'm bipolar 2. I've got massive panic disorder. I have every reason to make an excuse why some days I don't want to get up and do it, or some days I'm just triggered by this, or some days I got this excuse. And I just know for me, whether it's diet, my work ethic, whether it's training in the gym, or whatever my goals are, the moment I let that fear or that doubt enter into my core, it's done. I'm done. I can't dabble with cheat days on diets. I'm either all in or I'm not. It's either, hey, I haven't had a donut in 7 days.
That's discipline for you, right?
Some people can do it. I can't bet responsibly. I didn't choose to drink alcohol because I probably would be an alcoholic. I don't want to even, I just know I'm an all in or all nothing guy. And that works against you in some attributes. It works for you. So you have to identify those things in your life. You go, this would really work against me. So I just have to go, hey, listen, I said to my wife, you know what? I just said to her like an hour ago, I said, I'm not doing CrossFit this month. She goes, what? I said, I'm getting out of the gym. I'm just going to do run, push-ups, air squats, body stuff. I don't want to be sore. I don't want to pull my back out. I have a hurt shoulder. I want to be able to perform on stage. I want to lean out 5-7 pounds and just do that. And I also like the challenge of running in the cold, because nobody wants to run in the cold. So I love that challenge. So
Absolutely not.
I'm all in.
It's my goal this year to run outside more in the winter.
On the runs, people. I want someone new to run with every day.
Yes. All right. We got 2 of them right here, so we need 28 more. I love it, dude. Hey, I said it in the beginning and I'm sticking to it. Justin Spencer is a nice guy. You're freaking awesome, man. I feel I wanted to give you the opportunity to pump the tires for chaos and kindness in the show, but you've kind of already done that. You got 30 shows over the next couple of weeks or months. You're going to be in Manchester, Keene, Rochester. Guys, it's a great fucking show. There's this one hilarious skit last year. I don't know if you're doing it again, and don't spoil it. No spoilers, but it was with toilets, and it was just fucking outrageous.
We just had a band meeting. Should we do that or not again? Because that was funny.
It was fucking hilarious. It was the best. When that happened, I'm like,
you're talking to the right crowd, though. We like anything involving toilets. So
I don't know how much Caleb, but on the runs is on my t-shirt here. That's toilet paper. We love to talk about shit and Code Browns.
Yeah,
and
good.
I'm telling Erica about this last year after we saw your show. It was New Year's Eve, actually. And I'm like, this guy, we got to get him one day. He did the Ironman no training, and then he has this fucking hilarious thing with toilets. And dude, it wasn't like 1 minute. It was like 15 minutes of you and Ryan and the other dude. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. Just hilarious, fucking outrageously hilarious.
Yeah, we just keep shitting, and the whole idea is in comedy. We did 8,000 shows in Vegas. We're always writing these different bits, but the idea is that it's so unfunny. Or it's funny. That becomes so unfunny because you're going on for so long that it becomes funny again.
Yeah.
So we just basically we just shit until one day I said to Ryan, we have to do a show where we do that skit, but that's the only thing we do, and we see how long before people start to leave. Like how long? Like that's some Andy Kaufman stuff. But if we just did a skit, after about 40 minutes, you know someone's gonna look at the wife and go, I don't think they're gonna stop shitting. Let's just leave. And that would be funny for me. It'd be worth the $20,000 in lost ticket sales.
And you do this.
I would be the one sitting there like giggling the whole time. Like that's just my style. I have like the sense of humor of like a 10-year-old. So I mean, I'm all over.
Justin.
There's an intermission. They come back.
Yes.
We're still in the toilets.
That's what I was going to say. Do it for 40 minutes, intermission, and be like, okay. And then when you come back, bring the toilets back out.
Yep.
I'm already loving it.
So much fun, dude. Thank you for doing this. I got to give a special shout out to Steve. Steve, thank you for running into Justin, Ryan, and the guys in one of the malls and helping us because he knew. I've talked to Steve. We go running, and I'm like, have you ever seen Recycled Percussion? Those guys are so cool. I want to get them on the pod one day. And holy shit, he made it happen, Justin. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Erica has one final big question. It's a hard one sometimes, and sometimes it's super easy. I'm going to let her ask this big question for you.
All right, Justin, you ready for this?
I can handle it.
We have ourselves a Spotify playlist, and we like to invite our guests to add a song. So it could be anything that you're feeling at the moment, just something that pumps you up or just like brings the energy. Would you like to add something?
Let's add one of my favorite guilty pleasure songs of all time. I don't want to take it too seriously, but a song that like everybody heard, but like I actually love it, and I listen to it every day for 1 year.
Okay, I'm listening.
The B-52's Love Shack.
Oh, that's a great song.
Oh my God, fantastic!
It makes me happy. There's just certain songs you hear, you go, it makes me happy.
Yes.
You can't not want to dance to that.
So,
that just brings the energy anywhere you go.
I listen to that song every day for a year. So when you guys listen to that song, think of me. And anybody that wants to join me on a run, if they want to come out for a run, I'm all for it. They can look me up on Instagram, Justin_recycled_percussion. I'm going to start running every day tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But come train me. I'm always looking for new people to hang out with and get my fitness on with.
How would you want them to do that? Should they jump into your DMs?
Yeah, jump in the DMs.
All right.
I respond to fans.
Slide into the DMs, guys. And Justin, we'll go for a run this month. I
want to.
I'm in.
Yeah. Justin, this was wicked awesome. Happy holidays. I hope you have a great holiday with your family. Happy New Year. Have a kick-ass time with the band and the shows.
Happy run streak.
Run streak. Yeah. We'll see you soon, man. Thank you for coming on the pod, being so super, super generous with your time during the holidays here and telling us those awesome stories about the Ironman. That was awesome.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and good luck to everybody out there on their goals and what they're trying to achieve for 2024. Get after it.
Justin, oh my God, you were amazing. Thank you so much. You were just so generous with your time. We can't even begin to say thank you enough. You were just super cool. And yeah, oh my God. What's next?
Dude, I'll tell you what's next. Once I feel better, what's next is running with Justin. I'm gonna slide into his DMs and I'm gonna be like, yo, all right, let's go. I'm in Manchester.
Let's go run streak.
5 miles. He has been running. He's been doing it. If you watch his story, he's at the high school down the road all the time running the track. He took his family running on Christmas. They're getting ready for the show. Oh man, did you see they were in Salem at the Walmart? This was actually the day I got sick. And they filled a dumpster of toys, and they were like, we're not getting out of this dumpster until it's filled with toys for kids.
And that did not take very long at all to fill that. Everyone was super generous. So way to go, you guys. That is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, he's so cool. They got a great show. I think we're going to go watch the show on January 1st with the whole family. We're even going to talk about taking the boys. I just got to feel better. So I got about another 5 days to go. I should be better by then. I'm on the back 9, right?
Hope so.
Yeah.
I just got to say one thing. I think I forgot to mention it during the talk there, but him and Recycled Percussion and the Chaos and Kindness, they all throw they've done a second chance prom, and I just have to tell them that my cousins went to that, and it was such an amazing experience for them, and I just think that is so cool that they do something like that. I don't know if you've heard of that before.
I haven't followed it enough because I never go, but because your cousin went. That's really cool.
So it's for disabled adults, and my cousin went to that, and she thought it was the most incredible thing. And I think that is so wonderful that they do something like that for people in the area.
That's really
It's
cool.
just so nice. Like it's awesome. They have they make it such a production, and it's was a great time for her. So I just have to say thank you for that.
That's awesome. I wonder if he knows about the Sunrise Ascent I do for disabled athletes.
I don't know.
Not that I do it. I mean, I do it, but I wonder if he knows about the event every year
yeah.
up Mount Washington. I should
feel like that would be right up his alley. So
yeah,
he would enjoy
there's
that.
some really cool people who we've taken up in the past. So yeah, that's awesome. It's a charity. I think that would be right up there. He would be the guy because of how athletic and how he wants to just challenge himself. He'd be the guy who'd want to do the hike, actually.
Yeah, pretty much.
Justin, do you want to climb Mount Washington with me next August, pulling a disabled athlete up? We raise money for adaptive sports in New Hampshire. Let me know. Hit me up. Slide into my DMs. No, I'll talk to him about it another time.
But what an interview. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm really looking forward to going to their show. Like I said, I think we're going to go on the 1st as long as everyone in the house is feeling good. It's been rough. It is. Having kids is rough. Like everyone gets sick and then it just cycles through. And when there's 5 of you, it's just like it's a 10-week long process. And then you
Not
get it
only
again
that,
in 5 weeks.
You guys were talking in our group chat. We were just wishing each other Merry Christmas, and everybody's chiming in like, "Oh yeah, Christmas was good, but there was blood." And I was like, "Oh, do I need to? What happened?" And like, so between you, Katie, and Shauna, there was blood and projectile vomit. So I'm like,
so
kids sound fun.
They make these things. Can you believe it? Knives for kids.
A knife how? Like my first
like a kitchen
Swiss Army knife,
or like kitchen knife.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
So kids love to come in the kitchen and try to help. They want to take like the salt and dump the salt, but then they grab all the salt and throw it everywhere. And you have way too much salt, right? So Ashley got them these knives, and it has this little, it goes in this safe container.
Like a block
thing.
Okay. Yeah, like a block.
Right. So you take it out, but then this block has a spot for your hand, and it protects your fingers, and you can like cut the potato or whatever. So she's showing them how to do it.
Wait, is it a real, like a legit knife? Or I'm thinking it's like a
I think it's a little, no, well, it's a real knife, but it's like a butter knife, but probably duller than a butter knife. Still, like you can't do this without adult supervision, but with the way the house has been and everything, it was left out. And so it is like 10 o'clock last night. The kids won't go to bed. I'm up. And you know what I was doing? I was on the toilet trying to poop because I haven't been able to do that for a while because I haven't been eating any food. And when I walk out, I go back to the TV room and I'm like, Tyler, where'd you go? And I go to the kitchen. There he is with his knife trying to cut a potato. And I'm like, dude.
No.
I go over there and he's just going at the potato. And I'm like, there's blood everywhere.
Oh my God.
He gave himself the tiniest cut on his finger, but one of those tiny cuts that never stop bleeding.
Oh, the worst.
And so it took me a while. It didn't take me a while, but it took a while to stop the bleeding.
Figure out what was hurting. Like
it wasn't even hurting. He wasn't even hurting. He was just like, Dad, look, I'm cutting. But there's blood everywhere. So he didn't even like really
Where's
hurt
the
himself.
wound?
Right. It took me a minute to find it because I had to like stop the blood, stop the bleeding. So yeah, that happened. What Katie said there was blood and what Shauna said there was vomit, and you're like
projectile vomit. I'm like, yep, no kids, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's like you're jealous. Don't be jealous.
It said have kids. They said it'll be fun. They said.
Oh. Hey,
so you guys can enjoy it.
Did you get any cool gifts for yourself, or did you get any? Did anyone get you anything cool?
In my house, we pretty much buy our own gifts because I don't know, it's just easier that way. I get what I want. But
way.
Let me show you. I'm actually wearing it right now.
Oh.
I've got Team Struggle Run.
That's cool.
I got Mrs. Space Cadet's awesome new sweatshirt. So
shout out.
It's awesome. Shout out to you, Aaron. This thing is super comfy, and I am obsessed. So.
Shout out to Aaron, non-members only. Michael Motorcycle. That's a cool. That's cool. That's cool.
This is the softest sweatshirt ever. I'm never taking it off.
Okay. Until you get the On the Run sweatshirt.
Well, I got to get the On the Run sweatshirt first. There you go. It's a trade
Well, that's
off here.
cool because it's a sweatshirt. It's not even a hoodie. I like that.
Nope. It's just a crew neck. Yeah,
Ours
I
is
love
going to
it.
be a hoodie. I got to get on that for our hoodies. But yeah, I didn't buy myself anything this year. No, I didn't even really I didn't get my gift yet. Apparently it's still on the way. I don't know when it'll be here. That's actually pretty common for my gifts. I got my birthday gift one year in September.
Oh, that's a lot later though. It's like a
Yeah.
full month.
I bought a pretty cool gift. I found it on Instagram. It was an Instagram ad. I bought this for Ashley. I'll tell you what it is. It's like a crossword puzzle or like Scrabble words of the letters. It's about the size of a coaster, and you put them on the wall, and they spell all our names.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So I got that.
like
We
that.
got to put that up. Yeah. And then you got it. Some clothing. So I got some clothing, socks. I got like 20 pairs of socks. And
There you
I
go.
got a Peloton t-shirt.
Did you?
Nana got me a Peloton t-shirt because she knew I would be going. Oh, okay. Breaking news.
I'm like, we haven't even said
We
this
haven't
yet.
said it. We're going to the Peloton studio in a couple of weeks for a bike ride.
Oh my God, we're so excited.
Let's talk about that.
Well, I got
more
a bike
next
and
week.
a run. Ooh.
Yeah, let's talk about that more next week. But Hannah knew I was going, so she bought me. It's bright red. I think she picked it out so
awesome.
she can find
You'll
me.
stand out.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
So I got my first Peloton apparel. Not wearing it at the moment. So yeah. I would love to keep talking. But
you gotta rest your voice, man. I don't hold it against you.
But I want to give a couple quick updates. All right. So in my mind, we have a bunch to catch up on, and let's not do that with the state I am in right now. But
it's okay. I took notes. We can talk about it next time.
But since this is the last episode of the year, officially the last episode, there will be no best of part 3 this week, by the way, guys. I didn't get to it. I was sick.
You biffed
and
it.
Here's my thought. I'm taking a vacation in February. I'm going to drop it in February because most of part 3 is going to be what you guys heard in the last 3 months. And you already heard it. So let's do it in February to be like, oh yeah, that was amazing. However, I thought parts 1 and 2 are awesome. I really enjoyed doing that.
Quick interjection. So the other day when I went to listen to it the day it dropped, it wasn't on Spotify, and you had mentioned it, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. It's not on Spotify. And I was like, it's okay. I'm going to go listen to it on Audible because that's where I listen to audiobooks all the time. So unbeknownst to me, I go to start listening to it, and like our theme music is like sped up, and I was like, oh, this is a good beat to it. Like, what's going on? And then I realized that I listen to my audiobooks at 1.2 times speed. So it just left it on. So, and then you're like, oh man, this is cool. Do it at 1.5, do it at 2.0. So I sent him a couple of little clips of our intro music, and then him doing the intro after. And it was kind of silly. I got a kick out of that.
All right. I'm going to try to play it for you through my phone to the microphone. So here is the 1.2 speed.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I dig it.
See, just a little pep, right?
Not bad.
I would listen to that.
Yeah. Like, if you need to
We're
like
gonna
pick
skip
up the
right to the
pace.
2.0.
Wait, here I come.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the On the Run podcast for part 2 of the best of 20.
Let me just tell you, it works for books, but not so much the podcast thing. Like, it just sounds a little funky. But which one are you going to play next?
Here's 1.5. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my God.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the On the Run podcast for part 2 of the best of 2023.
Okay. No, you got to do 2.0.
That
It's
was
ridiculous.
No, that was 2.0.
Oh, that
My
was
bad.
2.0.
That was 2.0.
What's up, everybody?
My bad. Yeah.
That's the good one. So
hilarious.
I got a kick out of it for sure.
All right, but what I am going to do, so we got some stuff to catch up on, and we'll do that in the coming weeks. But I want to give you Spotify. You know how Spotify does Spotify Wrapped? And Strava did your year recap, right? You know what I always thought was funny about that was you always get that stuff after Thanksgiving. It's like the year's not over yet. In fact, our friend
Rory hates that.
Yeah, he hated it.
hates it.
And I agree. Like, your
Wait
year's
till
not
the
over.
end of the
You
year.
have more miles to go. You have more music. Like,
Yeah.
right now, I'll tell you what's making a strong charge on my Spotify playlist is nighttime sleeping music, because the boys no longer have
Oh.
binkies, and I'm trying to do something to get them to go to sleep, and it's been miserable. It's been miserable the past week. So
Ooh.
the sleeping music's making a charge on my Spotify Wrapped. But
it's gonna have a big one next year.
so the platform we use to distribute our podcast is called Buzzsprout, and they sent us what's called Backtrack 2023. This was a couple of weeks ago, so some of these numbers are already outdated from parts 1 and parts 2, but these came in. Are you ready?
Yeah.
We dropped, guess how many episodes we dropped this year? This is everything, not just episodes, but the OTR lives as well.
There's got to be like, I would say like 70 episodes or something.
Almost.
70 something or others. How many?
67.
I was so close. Yeah.
But you know what? You might be right. It might be 70 by the end of the year, because this was 2 weeks ago. It is definitely, it's at least going to be 69, baby. I have to play that
Giggity.
toxic. We averaged 1.29 episodes per week. Weekly warriors, that's what we are.
Ooh.
Here is my favorite stat.
Okay.
On the Runs was in the top 25% of all Buzzsprout podcast.
No way, dude.
Wow. How cool is that?
That's amazing.
How cool is that? So we aren't that far from, we are, but I think next year we can be pushing the top 10%. It goes by your average downloads the first 7 days of an episode. In the beginning of this year, we weren't nearly what we're at now. So,
Okay.
all right.
Damn, dude, that's some goals. We gotta push.
Okay. Our top 5 cities or towns, we'll call some of these towns. Number 5, Campton Lower Village, New Hampshire. Number 2, Beverly, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Haverhill, Massachusetts. Number 2, Manchester, New Hampshire. And do you want to guess what our number 1 city was?
No. Just tell me.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, hell yes.
I don't know how they determine, like, is it just by your phone number or like your GPS location at the time? But
Probably
we're
is
pretty
location.
popular in the big city. So that's
cool.
awesome. We were in 45 different countries this year.
That blows my mind.
Our top
That's
country,
so cool.
Our top country, of course, the United States of America. But coming in 5th was Canada.
Okay.
So that means our other 3 are not in North America, unless Mexico, but it's not there. Number 4 was Germany. Number 3 was the United Kingdom. And do you want to guess what our second most listened, downloaded country was?
Japan.
Nope.
I don't know.
Australia.
No way.
Yep, Australia.
Huh. Very cool.
All right, our top 5.
Shout out international listeners. This is awesome.
Yeah. Our top 5 episodes of the year. Now, I don't have the numbers for these. It just gives me the top 5. Coming in 5th place overall, episode 77. Do you remember what episode 77 was?
No.
The Yeti,
Yeti
100 miler.
Yeah. Yeti.
Congratulations.
I'm glad you guys liked it. It was fun to do.
All right. Episode number 4 was episode 76. Do you remember who episode 76 was?
No.
Jay Duncan during our breast cancer month awareness.
Because I got thrown off because I'm like, my thing was in September, but I didn't record it till October. My apologies, Jay. You were amazing.
What I love about this is a lot of these are recent. So like these episodes are getting a lot of downloads, like all in one, which is awesome.
Very cool.
Number 3 was episode 81. Want to take a guess?
Don't make me guess.
Was?
No. Don't make me guess. Just tell me.
Larson Ojala.
Yes.
That episode, by
awesome.
the way, took off from day one.
That is so awesome.
It blew up. It surprised me. I'll be honest. It surprised me. It surprised me because we didn't know him. We just got like one guy on Instagram who didn't know him just says, "Hey, I saw this guy running. I think you should have him
Check
on.
him out.
He seems like he has this. I heard this story. He'd be good." He was awesome. Amazing story.
Absolutely.
That episode blew up. So our top two. All right. Our top two. These ones are probably pretty easy to predict. Number 2, I'm going to let you guess. I'm not even going to give you the episode number. I'm going to have you guess.
Is it Aaron?
Aaron Azar. I am Mrs.
Yay.
Biscuit at episode 75. Came in second place, which might have
But
surprised us. So who was number 1?
If you're making me guess, I'm gonna say Brittany.
No.
Who is it? Oh,
It
it's
wasn't
not Brittany.
Brittany.
Oh.
No, it wasn't.
Well, then who
Brittany.
is it? I don't know.
It was a while ago, actually. It was a while ago.
Is it Doozer?
No, it wasn't Doozer. It wasn't Doozer. No.
Damn it! Just tell me. I hate the suspense.
It was Ash Kickin.
Oh, duh. Gosh,
In
I should have known that. She was absolutely fantastic.
fact, she takes like the major lead. If you take her
Ooh.
episode and the OTR live, you combine those two. That's like
Oh,
well
fuck
over
yeah, Ashley.
1,000 downloads just for her, I think. So Ashley knocked it out of the park there.
Well, she earned it. She gave us all the awesome Badwater intel, so
Mhm.
she definitely earned it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So for the year, we recorded a lot more than this, but we put out 5,899 minutes of content, of podcast content to your listening ears.
Holy shit.
A total of 67 episodes, 45
Wow.
countries, and at the time this posted, 14.5 thousand downloads, but we are now at 15,000 downloads, just about to hit it. We will hit it after this one.
Wow.
Like I said, the top 25% of all Buzzsprout podcasts.
And we couldn't have done it without all of you out there. Where would we be without you?
So I took last year's numbers, which last year we did 35 episodes.
Okay.
This year we did 67. Okay. So we doubled it about. But last year we had 3,000 something downloads. I'm not looking up the exact number. It was like 3,900 something. This year we're about to hit 15,000 for the year. We are so close. We are just about 1,000 shy from 20,000 lifetime.
You know what, dude? That is not too shabby.
But
That's so cool.
But here's our growth from last year to this year. 364% more downloads this year than last year.
Mind blowing.
If I did the math right. It was 364%.
This has been such an incredible year. Oh my God.
So I think,
how do we beat this?
Well,
how do we go up from here?
I don't know if we can beat that percentage of a growth because that was huge, right? I mean,
That was huge. Yeah.
to beat
That's
that,
what she said.
yeah. To beat that, we would need to hit about 50,000 downloads next year, which is possible because I think right now we're on a pace of 30,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
So it's just, let's keep doing the growth. We'll have to start doing some more marketing research because we've done none. Everything we've done to grow this podcast this year
It's all organic, huh?
has been organic. It's been on Instagram, little bit of TikTok, not really, little bit of YouTube, hopefully more. Zero Facebook because that's done. I can't figure out Facebook groups.
You got to pick a platform.
Right. I had to
Instagram
stick
it
to
is.
one. There's so much to do.
Yeah.
So Instagram it is. I would love to just consistently put the same videos on TikTok though, and put longer clips on YouTube. But man, just like, thank you to everyone who has downloaded and listened and been part of this. It is insane. That 25% number of all Buzzsprout podcasts, we're in the top 25%. I was like, oh my God, wow.
It's incredible.
And do you remember at one day, remember we keep hovering. We're in the top 100 for running podcasts in that category. But one day we hit 21st. We're the number 21 ranked. And it was like, And I asked about reviews the other day. I don't know how to look them up. Someone looked them up and said, you only have 3. So like the reviews, okay, they're not like, they say those make a big impact. So we made it to 21 with only 3 reviews. So, and the same 3 reviews have been there for like 8 months. So it's
Which
like,
are great.
yeah, it's great. It is what it is. I love it. But it's,
Well, I'm pretty sure I wound up doing a review. Maybe I didn't type one out, but I did one on Audible because there weren't any reviews on Audible. So
yes, we're going to move up the
Least I can
rankings
do.
on Audible, baby.
Woo!
If you're listening at 1.2 speed, that's your jam. That's cool. Give us a rating on Audible and write a review. This has been a lot of
so
fun.
good.
Listen, I was going to read down everybody's name and say thank you to everybody, but I'm not going to do that because no one wants to hear me go, thank you, Erica Hamill, with my raspy voice.
That's why you give me a list and not you. We'll worry about that later.
I listen, and I'm sorry I didn't post a lot, but I decided we were still recording. We recorded with some amazing guests like Justin. We recorded with this awesome girl named Abby and a guy named Jared. And you're just going to love their stories. We're supposed to record tomorrow. I'm going to power through it. I'm going to go take something from my throat. But guys, people have been reaching out to us and saying, will you have our guy on? And it's so cool. That's so cool that people are doing that now. And that's what we have tomorrow. We're talking to a guy from England tomorrow who is huge in the running community. And it's so exciting because we'll get to hopefully meet him in a month at the Boston Run Show that we're going to be at. So I'm super excited for the next year.
So many big things coming up.
We're going to continue the Tuesday drops, even though this is a Wednesday. Every week we're getting ahead, so this has been so much fun. I hope this becomes a full-time job one day. We said we were going to keep doing this until it felt like work. That's not the goal anymore.
And now you want it to be work.
I want this to be work. I do. I really want this to be work. I'm that passionate about this. You can hear it. I'm sure you can hear it right now through my COVID voice because I probably had COVID, but I didn't get tested because I couldn't get out of bed for days to even go get a test.
Well,
and now I'm on the back
keep
nine.
working the back 9. Make sure you rest up for
I've
tomorrow.
Stayed away from people. I didn't go to Erica's house to record. I texted everyone who was going to be on.
Thank you for that.
We're going to do a 10-mile run. I texted everyone, said, don't come out. Oh, I would have felt so bad. Like if I got Nicole sick the day before her birthday and before Christmas and you sick, so, all right. But it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for an amazing year, guys. I really appreciate everything from the bottom of my heart. And Erica, thank you for coming to the podcast every Monday and doing this for hours. Like we said, 5,899 minutes. And that doesn't include all the stuff I cut out.
Well, I'm more than happy to be here. This is probably the coolest hobby, if you could even call it that, that I have. Like, this is such a cool thing that we do. And
be cooler than running itself.
Kind of. I mean, talking about running is definitely more fun than actually running. So you got to admit, So
all right. Well, I love
we wouldn't be anywhere without you, man. Honestly, this would not be anywhere without you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that because I do put a lot into this, a lot of work, a lot of late nights because I love it and I'm passionate about it. But as I told a lot of people who sometimes are like, oh, I don't know who I'm talking to on the Instagram account. I'm like, oh, it's me. And they're like, oh, okay, well, what does Erica do? And I go, she shows up on time.
Do nothing else.
And leaves. And I say that to be funny. But
it's true.
Fact. But it wouldn't be the same without you. And you're letting me take charge and do this the way I wanted, the way I dreamt it up. And it is and I think it's coming out exactly how I wanted it to.
Good.
And I'm trusting the process, but it wouldn't be what it is without you here with me.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of our listeners out there. I appreciate all of our Patreons who are helping us out there. Like,
Yeah.
Honestly, this is like a team effort. We wouldn't be here without all of you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
And for anyone new listening who's like, oh, I found you because of Justin, I want to listen. It's not always tummy sticks. It's not always thank yous and okay, I love yous and all this. Sometimes like we do get into it and we're like, or sometimes we get at each other.
You give me shit, I give you shit. Yeah. That's what happens when you're best friends.
But it's our last episode of the year. It was an unexpected last episode of the year. We're going to add in some holiday music and make it a holiday special, but not with my voice. So next year. Guys, thank you.
You sound all
Steve,
raspy.
thank you for the awesome guest. Kayla, if you're still listening, thank you for hooking us up and setting us up with Justin. Justin, thank you for coming on. I can't wait to come and see your show in a couple of days. And I can't wait. We're going to go running when I feel like myself again in a couple of days and have my voice back. Erica and I are going to slide into your DMs and go running. So
you know it.
Yes, I can't wait. Guys,
we're going streaking.
Have a wonderful new year. Be safe, have fun, enjoy everything you do, and we'll be back next Tuesday with Erica's White Whale.
Once again, stop calling her that.
Take us home and save this podcast.
What more can I say that hasn't already been said? We love you all so, so much, and don't forget to stretch.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 86 of the On the Runs podcast. My voice I can't do
it. Do you want me to do this?
I want to try one more time, and then you do it. Yeah. Wow.
This is good. You can blooper that one.
That's my end blooper.